So another common question is risks and side effects of getting the vaccine itself. I think one disservice that we do both to ourselves as well as to our children is really trying to sugarcoat it and say there's going to be no side effects at all. Things are going to be great, everything's going to be fantastic. I think we have to be honest to ourselves, and that honesty kind of bleeds through to your children as well. Is that there are potential side effects, and let's talk about them. And what are those? For example, short-term side effects. Local soreness at the site where you get the shot. Sometimes you can get redness there, fatigue, headache. Frankly, most of those side effects are more common after the second dose. After the first dose, generally it's very, very mild. With my own son, he had no side effects whatsoever. We had talked to him about what to kind of look for, and he was perfectly fine. So generally, the short-term side effects are very minimal at that, especially with the first shot. With the second shot, you can possibly get some of those features that we talked about. As far as more sort of serious consequences, and of course this is flowing from some of the adult literature, right? For example, myocarditis, blood clots, things like that. Those have actually not happened in children at all yet. Now, is there a possibility of myocarditis in children? It's possible. I mean, to be honest, myocarditis can happen in the absence of COVID too. We've seen it before the COVID pandemic. We would see myocarditis. But your risk of getting myocarditis from natural causes or from the illness itself is about 100 times that from the vaccine. So you're still 100 times much more likely to get it otherwise rather than getting the vaccine. So the ratio is definitely still much more in the sense of safe towards the vaccine. So the risk of long-term side effects, the other thing is like what they call long COVID, is also a consequence. Again, less likely in children, but remember we're talking about less likelihood of side effects, but also less likelihood of the illness. So keeping that in balance, on par, the vaccine still comes out ahead. So generally speaking, there's no, and we actually haven't seen any sort of side effects in children. These are all sort of theoretical possibilities. But again, I think in the spirit of honesty, it's important to say that, it's possible that these things can occur. There's ongoing sort of monitoring and surveillance that occurs. And so far, we haven't seen any of those side effects in children.